With different job profiles comes different roles and responsibilities. And whether you work at an agency or a product design studio or a service-based company or a SaaS-based company, I think your roles and responsibilities are going to differ. Whether organization is big or small, whether your team is big and small, depending on different factors, your roles and responsibilities are going to differ. Today, I'm going to tell you about my roles and responsibilities as a product designer in my own organization. Hi, my name is Atul, and you are watching UX Trim. And to tell you more about myself, I work at an agri-tech organization, and my organization has around 2,000 employees, I think more than that, and we have a dedicated product design team. Now, product design team is mostly agile. We do not take projects one by one. So generally, we have a pool of projects wherein PMs and other management discuss with us, and we create Jira tickets and create the whole pool. And it's continuous pool. We keep updating it, and we keep managing it, and also prioritize the task. And we pick from the pool itself. We deliver it on given time. So let's start with individual roles and responsibilities, what I do. So first is to take briefs. Now I take briefs from PMs, managers and stakeholders, senior stakeholders. There is a business team dedicated at our organization, and we discuss the requirement from each and every person. Everyone is aware of everything, and then we create project on Jira boards, and we put in as much as details as we can on the Jira board itself. Now, the second responsibility is to update, manage, and prioritize those Jira tasks, and also to assign myself and to other designers or juniors, whomsoever is responsible within your team. Now, third responsibility is to pick the project depending on what you have worked on in the past. Let's say in my case, what I have worked in my past, I'll have more context, and I'll be able to execute it much faster. We generally follow our priority order by heart. If we are getting a new project, we ask our stakeholders to assign it to us before the month starts. Okay. Now, coming on to the fourth responsibility is to keep our managers and other stakeholders informed. And we also inform about the current status, updates, any obstacles, any hindrance during the project. If it is minor, we solve it ourselves. It is something major, we discuss it with our stakeholders, and depending on the outcome, either we continue the project or hold the project so that it can be solved. Coming on to the fifth responsibility, we track our past projects. We keep every design in check. We also make sure that we do not recreate any screen. We always reuse other screens so that the development time is reduced, and we save time in terms of not recreating any screens which has already been developed. Now, coming on to the sixth responsibility is to get context of the project, either from business, design, or any other stakeholder. And we also go through all the old designs, all the current development, what have been deployed, and also we make sure to get the specific reason why we are updating the project or a screen. Okay. Now, moving on to the seventh responsibility is to do research, either primary or secondary. We do complete research before starting a new project, and we try to get as much as data from all stakeholders, and also from whomsoever is involved in that project. Then after, the eighth responsibility is to do user research before starting the project, and after doing a primary and secondary research, we do user research. We go to the user, we identify the real problems, and we do this user research in cohorts, like one segment of user with certain abilities, with certain status, have different kind of requirement than the other set. So yes, we do research in cohorts. So the ninth responsibility is to analyze data, whether it's on Mixpanel or Hotjar or Google Analytics, any other. We try to identify the problems, the drop rates, DAO, MAO, other user behaviors which we can find in terms of user session. Also, to understand the behavior in better way, we tend to analyze from different angles, and also to come up with our own hypothesis that why it is happening. To make sure that the reality is true, we tend to cover this data analysis part before doing the user research. also. Now next is to define problem statements. Normally we find out all the problems before defining our problem statements. So most of the time we define our problem statement after getting to know all the problems and difficulties faced by user. Then we define objectives, what actually should be there in order to help the user, and then we create multiple problem statements in order to solve those problems. Now 11th is to do brainstorming sessions and whiteboarding sessions, where we sit with all the stakeholders and we solve then and there that this is my hypothesis, this is my manager's hypothesis, this is some other stakeholder hypothesis, and we compare it, we try to solve it, that yes, this is going to help or this is not going to help. This session we generally come up with various hypotheses and draw an definite outline that how we are going to proceed with the project. Now 12th responsibility is to create user flows, task flows, list down different scenarios and use cases, and based on those we move forward to the wireframing. So yes, my 13th responsibility is to create wireframes, and mostly it is mid fidelity at this level, at this stage. Normally we create this wireframe to understand our hypothesis and do an in-house testing. So the 14th responsibility is to test all those hypotheses with the peers and other stakeholders, and generally do an in-house testing. Also to understand the feasibility of wireframes which we are doing with the developers. Okay, so the 15th responsibility comes down to creating screens and visuals, and at this stage we create multiple variations of different hypotheses which we have already explored, and create in a way that we can test it with our real users. Okay, so the next thing which we do is to create prototypes out of those different variations and make it multiple so that we can test it with users rapidly. And we make sure that we cover all the scenarios, all different use cases. Therefore, we create different flows of different prototypes. Now, next is user testing. We do different kinds of user testing with real users, such as UATs, 5-second test, A/B testing, and many other things. And this test help us get to know the real feedback of users. We observe them interacting with screen and text and everything, and there itself we record all the different observations and sessions. We also create video recordings of users interacting the app or the screen. Now next is to iterate those screens. While doing these user testing, you come up with different solutions and ideas, and that's where I iterate on the go, and also after getting different kind of observations and facts. Next is to present our ideas and observations to everyone, mostly senior stakeholders and developers, and make them understand that what did we observe, what did we make, what solution is working or what solution is not working, and therefore these presentations are really important. And also tell them why we are going with certain design decisions. Now 28th role and responsibility is to propose the final solution and get the agreement of all different stakeholders that yes, we are going with this particular solution. Now then comes the task of creating development files, wherein we put all the remarks and notes for developers to understand different design decisions and why we are making certain things in certain way. Also, we put in remarks about interactions and other backend processes which needs to be incorporated during development itself. Now 22nd responsibility is to create visuals, whether they are images, icons, banners, or any other sort of asset required, maybe a video or a GIF. Everything has to be done by designer. Okay. Now next one is to write UX copies. Mostly we initiate those UX copies, whether it's a heading or a description or a CTA text, and later on it is improved by content and language team. It also goes through multiple set of discussions and iterations about what text it should reflect and why, and also we keep it true to users' understanding. Now 24th responsibility is to track the performance of deployed project, and we track the performance up to few weeks. Also we continuously monitor the performance, and we find and report any bug which occur after deployment, and we solve it on priority, and if anything goes wrong, we solve it then and there. So now the last and 25th responsibility is to manage myself and my productivity so that I can deliver my projects on time. And this is really important because this will decide that how you are balancing your professional life and personal life. So again, these were 25 roles and responsibilities of me as a product designer, and I hope you learned something from it. If you like this content, please like, share and subscribe, and follow for more. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Bye bye.